What makes the difference between those that achieve audacious, incredible things in their lives and those that don't? It depends on two variables. Welcome to the Allured Life podcast. My name is Katie Christ, and in 2016, I wrote down in a journal that I was going to become unapologetically my best self. And my purpose is to help women do the same, whether that's overcoming body image issues, creating next level inner confidence, or up-leveling our emotional intelligence and sense of worth. I believe that by investing in and developing who we are, we can exponentially transform the world we live in. My mission is to create power and influence in the hands of women. These are conversations for those ready to rise. This is the Allured Life podcast. Let's go all in. All right. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for, honestly, this is episode 1 of kind of coming back to the blog posts, the podcast episodes. As you know, they've been on both of them. And as you don't know, well, they've been on both of them. So a long time ago, I was doing video content, a lot smaller kind of video content, like 15, 20 minutes max. And hopefully what I've been experiencing and kind of going through is been transformational. And with those trainings, these will be a little bit longer format trainings and coaching. So we will see, and let's get started on this. So today, what we're going to be talking about is how to inevitably, without a doubt, succeed at our goals. I know that sounds, it's like, okay, Katie. Like, all right, like who cares about this? And also too, it just sounds like another motivational, like hoorah, rah, let's succeed at our goals and let's go at it. We are taking a completely different approach right now. A completely different approach where we're really leaning into more of a feminine approach versus a masculine approach. So this is something that I've definitely, since April, honestly, have been truly playing around with and having so much more of an understanding of how powerful we as women and as men too, because we all have a balance of some masculine and feminine energies, how powerful we can be, where it's not about hustling anymore. It's not about going hard anymore. It's not about doing so much as it is about more so of who we are, of leaning back, of allowing ourselves to receive either guidance or miracles, or just really tapping into our own body to understand exactly how do we achieve and succeed the way that we honestly are meant to, honestly. And so this is totally different than what I've been taught growing up, what I've been learning about in a lot of personal development books, but also at the same time, not so much different. It's just a different understanding and a different perspective of, okay, we've heard about motivation. We've heard about focusing on our goals. We've heard about writing down our goals, aligning to those, saying them out loud, positive affirmations. And for some of us, it works, right? For some of us, we have friends that are leading such amazing lives. We see other men and women and other people succeeding at insane dreams. Again, whether or not, I know my conversation is a lot about body image perception, a lot about health and wellness too, but like think about too the dream careers or the dream family lives or the dream relationships that you see other people having, and you might have them too. So why is it that some people exponentially succeed without even like batting an eyelash and others don't? Or others are living kind of I'm fine. It's a good life. I'm fine. It was fine. Or my life is spiraling out of control kind of a life. And so again, if we all could just say like, I am the richest person alive, I make millions, I am in the J-Lo body of my dreams. And if affirmations would work, we'd all have those, right? if goal setting would work, we'd be achieving like through the roof all of our goals. If focusing on our goals every single day, if aligning, like, but what's going on? I know I just did resolution reset. It was a 5-day kind of a masterclass where we went into, it was at the beginning of June. We really focused in on recalibrating to our New Year's resolutions, because there is a awful stat out there where it's the same person will make the same New Year's resolution 10 separate times without success. So that's 10 years of doing the same thing, saying that you want to lose weight, that you want to get another job, or you want to make a certain amount of money, that you want to have the relationship or whatever, give up Diet Coke, whatever it looks like for you, but 10 separate years. So it's like, okay, what is the difference between the people that can do it consistently and me? Or the people that fail, if you don't want to be like, oh yeah, I definitely fail at my goal setting. And this is again of I feel like a new person. I feel like diving into masculine and feminine energetics, manifestation, all the learning how to have inner power as a woman. And again, this can be applied to men too. I'm not saying anything, but as like tapping into my own feminine power, it's been like, there's not even any words. And that's kind of where it's, I'm leading through these teachings, and it's for me, for you, and then for us as a collective, for really like this is stuff that I needed to hear. So if I needed to hear this, and if it made such a powerful impact for me, I hope it's the same for you. So again, today we're going to be diving into what I've been really learning more so about, okay, what exactly leads to success? Ultimate, like being able to, no matter, and this is going to sound, you're going to be like, Katie, this is going to sound insane, but I truly do. The more that I'm in this information, in this knowledge, and in around women that are doing extraordinary things, and they're collapsing time, and they're doing these mind-blowing things in a quick amount of time. This is what I've been learning. So no matter what your dream or your ambition is, I'm going to ask you to think about it too. What is your dream vision for your life? Something that you can't even like tap, like it's so big that you're all honestly afraid to say it out loud. Grasp it a little bit, and then I'm going to re-ask you to come back to it. But I truly believe the more that I'm in this information, in this knowledge, it can be as easy as walking. Anything, any goal, it can be as easy as walking. Before we go into this, I want you to think of a dream of yours, an ambition of yours, something so big and audacious that it almost kind of stretches you. It like gets your heart aflutter. And also too, it's like, there's a little bit of like, is that possible for me even? Like, that's how far I want to stretch us. Okay. So we're kind of expanding on who you believe that you think that you can be. And so there's a formula, and it's honestly, it's not complicated of a formula. It's 2 parts, but it's not simple either, of achieving that dream for you. So again, what makes the difference between those that achieve audacious, incredible things in their lives and those that don't? It depends on 2 variables. So the first one is, how strong is your word? And the second one is how long we stick to what we say we're going to do. Pretty simple, right? Again, I'll repeat those. So it's how strong is your word and how long we stick to what we say we are going to do. So let's, again, super simple, but you're like, okay, well, yeah, why? Okay. We're going to dive into how It's not complicated, these things, but they aren't simple either as well. So what is kind of how strong is your word? What does that mean? Is your word law? Is your word unbreakable? Is your word like signing a contract that once you sign it, it's like, okay, set in stone. I will do what I said I was going to do without a doubt. It's like drawing a line in the sand, and you either are a yes for your word or a no. That's what I mean by how strong is your word. So this is right now, I want you to just look back at your ambition that you said that your dream version of you, or honestly, just look back and think of, okay, what have I said that I'm going to do this year? I bet you, because I know my audience, 95% would say, okay, this is the year I'm going to lose weight. How strong has your word been on that? If you could draw a line in the sand and say it's a yes or it's a no, where are you dabbling? And you can't be in the middle. It's either a heck yes or a heck no. Where are you at? That's what the strength of your word, that's what we're focusing on right now. And that's the first variable of success, is how much does your word matter to you? So right now too, a lot of you will say, okay, yeah, I say that I want this. And you're like, my word is rock solid. And you go, here's the one mistake. The number one mistake is that people will say, all right, I'm ready, let's go. And you go straight into action. You go straight into wanting to do the action, and you go straight into, okay, but how? So how do I lose weight? How do I have the confidence of J-Lo? I just watched her halftime Netflix episode or a series on, so that's why I'm referencing J-Lo quite a bit. So, okay, how do I make $1 million in my business? Okay, how do I attract the man of my dreams or the job of my dreams? Again, when you say, you're like, okay, I have my ambition, Katie. I have my dream. I have like this beautiful vision of what I want in my life. And then I say, okay, your word is law. Say it. You've written it. It's rock solid. And then you go straight into, okay, but how? Slow down. That's the wrong question to be asking at this point in the equation. This is where it's like, okay, let's slow down significantly, not where we're like stopping ourselves, but we're like, we are really revving up the motion. We're getting the gears in place so that it is effortless, and 100% we're going to get there. But the biggest mistake is a lot of people say, okay, this is what I want. This is my word is solid. Okay, but how? And then the how gets really complicated, right? Because you're like, I don't know how. Oh God, wait, but how? I don't know. How do I do this? And then fear comes up. The fear of disappointment, or the fear of not succeeding, or the fear of not, like, you just don't know what to do, right? The path it's muddled. Remember again, when I said before, everything that we want can be as easy as walking. So do you have to think about walking? Is the path muddled? Are you in fear of not being able to walk, or disappointment, or whatnot? So if you're asking the question, if you go straight from having an ambition and you go straight to how do I do this, you're in the wrong mindset. This is like, I want you to say it, and I don't want you to blame yourself either, because this is masculine energy coming through right now. And what we're doing right now is we're reprogramming ourselves. We're leading ourselves through a different kind of energy that allows for us to receive what we truly want. But society right now has us ingrained in masculine energy to do, go, try this strategy, try this diet, try this email funnel sequence. That's more of a business term. Do. And if we're not doing, then we're being lazy and we're never going to achieve our goals. Like, work harder, do it more, like hustle, grind, be up at 5 a.m, stay up till midnight. Like, and we believe that it works because we've seen it work with some people, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. We can hustle as much as we can, with as much as we want to, honestly. And you can achieve a level of results to a capped amount, of how much energy can you hold in that hustle mentality, that hustle and grind. And a lot of the times that capped amount where we get to, burnout happens. And so we can only exceed at the level until burnout happens, and then we just falter. Versus this is exponential, is what we're as easy as walking. I know it sounds too good to be true, but stay with me through this, because here, and I want to be careful with my words right now, you don't have to do anything to get your dreams. I mean, there is going to be a level of work to do, but at this stage, to really kind of craft a clear path towards your dreams, towards your ambitions, you really don't have to do anything at this point. Nothing, nada. You don't have to do, you don't have to work, you don't have to push. No, the inner game. This is where it's the inner game. It's about who are you being, and you don't have to do a whole lot to change who you are. Stay with me on this one, because this one took me a little bit. I was like, because honestly, I had a mentor who was going through this, and I was like, well, okay, but what do I do? Okay, I need a line to my goal, but what do I do? And so this is how my mindset process works. So hopefully there's a flow in everything that you will get it as well. So let's kind of, again, if the first variable to achieving our dang ambitious goals is number one, it's how strong is your word. My question was, okay, so the word is the ambition, right? The word is what we say that we want to achieve, that we will achieve. The strength part, okay, that word is important because it's right before it. How do we, again, thinking of kind of exercise, how do we build that strength? How does that word right before strong, how does it become, what makes that a rock solid foundation? What makes strong word strong and powerful? Your belief. Okay. And taking the next step of, okay, we go from ambition to your strong word. Okay, what develops the strong word? It's the belief system right under this. And this isn't a load of crap right now. This is actually very, very serious, because I've been in the position where you think that your belief is really strong because you keep saying the affirmations. You're like, I'm going to have my dream body. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to like hit the ground running in my new sneakers. And I'm going to be on the Peloton every single morning. And I'm going to lose weight every single week. And I'm going to be in that. I'm visualizing myself in my wedding dress. And I'm just going to be this version of myself. And then what happens? You don't see the weight come off because there's a little crack in your system. And you're like, oh, I don't know if this will happen, but you don't. It might honestly not be a conscious crack in your belief. So let's, again, to have a rock solid word, your belief in your ability to achieve your ambition has to be, it is true. It is that is the truth. There's no cracks. There's no limiting beliefs. It is a core belief in you that it's not even like you might succeed at this. It's you will. How many of us can sit there right now and say, okay, I thought of my ambition, Katie, that you had. And how many of us can say without a shadow of a doubt that is 100% going to happen to us? I know that when I was asked that question, and even now when I ask that question, I'm like, yeah, right? Because there's fear comes up. Specifically to this fear of disappointment. We don't want to say this is 100% going to happen because we fear disappointing ourselves, or we fear disappointing others too. But the biggest one just being this disappointment self. You know, that's the hardest thing that we, specifically as women, have to struggle with is this disappointment thing. And that's what keeps us stuck so much. That's what keeps us from not following through on our goals, because we don't want to like say, this is the time I'm going to lose weight. And then it doesn't happen fast enough. And we're like, oh, not again. Not another summer where I hate the way that my thighs look, or I see myself in a picture in a tank top and my arms are just flabby. Like, why? Or you see yourself in a picture, or you've tried to fit into a dress that you fit into 5 years ago, and you're like, why? Like, come on. It's that fear of disappointing yourself again. And the fear of that wound happening too. Of just like that gut wrenching, like, or two, how much does the fear of disappointment come in to us always saying yes to everybody? We don't want to disappoint everybody, so we're going to stretch ourselves so dang thin that we don't even recognize ourselves at the end of the night when we're just like collapsed on the couch and just lifeless and snapping at our loved ones. This is where it's not that you can't like, you are a powerful woman. You can be, do, have it all, hold it all, hold the space for everything that you want in your life, where you're juggling so many things, and you're able to hold that when you kind of throw up a ball of, okay, my kids are up there, I'm going to balance, I'm going to focus on my health, but I know that I trust my kids. We can hold all of that, but we fear disappointment. We fear we're going to drop a ball. And so then we just stretch ourselves so dang thin. We hold on to these balls and we're like, I just can't do it all. And then one falls and you're like, oh no, I don't, I was trying so hard, because you're trying to balance everything like this. And it's like little tiny, like juggling, because you're like, I can't like not look at that for a long time or else I'm going to lose control. And then things like, what happens when we're just like balance, like just drop it, versus when you trust yourself and you throw up a ball in the air and you are able to add in a couple ones because you have that context, a bigger kind of space, and you know you can handle it. Like, that's what we're focused, that's what we're trying to get at right now. That's feminine energetics right there. So again, how my brain works. Ambition, number one variable for success is how strong is your word. Okay, how do we develop a strong word? You have to have a rock solid belief that you will 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, achieve that word. Next step, I was like, okay, right now, my belief system, I can say it, but how do I know without a shadow of a doubt that like my belief is rock solid? So it's like, okay, what shapes our belief then? Take a step further. Our thoughts and our emotions and feelings shape beliefs. So our thoughts and our feelings associated with those thoughts shape our belief. So thoughts and feelings kind of go hand in hand together, because we do have thoughts. We have a million thoughts running through our brains every single day. This is, again, we're not doing a lot of stuff of action towards our goals. But this is where mindset comes in. And this is where it's like, we can't override our mindset and our belief system. Even though we're like, okay, I kind of want to, because this is the really hard stuff. But it's like how we feel a thought. If we have a thought and there's a feeling associated with that thought, that determines then our context, our reality, right? Thoughts and feelings really craft our belief system, and then it crafts our expectations of what does the picture of my life look like right now. We know this from having have you ever been in a situation where you're like, no, this is what happened. We were like in a fight, and then your significant other was like, no, we were just talking about like this scenario. Totally different realities, but it's the thought and the feelings associated, where one person was like, oh my God, like he's not listening to me. Like, we are just in a fight. Like, what is he going to do? And then the thought is, okay, we're just having a conversation. She's done talking, so I'm good. I can go play Xbox. I don't know if that's a me and Ryan conversation, but it honestly could be where we're having a conversation. My thought is, I'm so mad at him. Like, and so the feeling is of anger. And so for me, we just had a fight, or this doesn't actually happen. If Ryan's watching this, or Ryan's mom, so in my context, in my reality, we were in a fight. Ryan's could have been like, okay, we're having a conversation. She's silent. Okay, the conversation is done. Cool. The feeling with that is content. We're good. Our thoughts and our emotions with those thoughts craft our reality, and develop our belief system. So let me I was trying to be like, okay, what's a micro moment that could possibly hit with, again, relating this to health and wellness and kind of body image perception specifically. So let's say that you just did a phenomenal workout. You were like doing the things on the Peloton bike or out running, and you were like, yeah, we're sweating, we're good. And then you go and you take a shower, and you get in front of the mirror, you take off your t-shirt or your tank top, and you're sitting there looking at yourself in the mirror with your sports bra and either your leggings or your shorts, sweatpants, whatever you're wearing on the bottom. What do you think? What is your thoughts? I'm guessing that your thoughts could look like this: oh, look at that stomach roll. Look at that armpit fat. Or you're wearing a tight sports bra and there's like cutting into where you have that armpit fat right there. Oh, look at how my sports bra cuts into my back rolls. Or, oh, look at kind of where my leggings are kind of tight and they're cutting into my hips. Like, oh. And so then what's the feeling associated with those thoughts? Could be low confidence. Ugh. I don't want to see anybody naked. Insecurity. Like this unworthiness, disappointment, like feeling it like truly in your body. The thought of, oh, look at my stomach rolls, insecurity. Oh, look at my back rolls, unworthiness. So then how then is your belief system of whatever goal that you had for your health specifically? Like, let's say your goal, your ambition, I'm going to use I want to have a J-Lo body. I want to be 50 years old and I want to be rocking it. Great movie, by the way. I would highly recommend it. It's called Halftime on Netflix. So let's say that's your ambition. So you are you're like eating the things, you're drinking the water, you're doing the like face stuff, and you're working out, and you come in, and again, you're back into this micro moment of looking at yourself in the mirror, and you see the rolls, and you see the arm flab, and you feel the leggings like hitting your stomach, and you feel it where you're like, that shouldn't be there, right? What is curating your belief system then? If your belief system, if your word is law and your word is, I'm going to, like, I have a J-Lo body, like that's your word. What's your belief system with that then? If you're anything like me, you might be like, oh, I don't know. And so what I used to do is I would just push it away. Okay, get in the shower. Not gonna think about it. I don't feel good. Okay, push it away. Nope. We push these uncomfortable feelings and thoughts about ourselves. And when the fear comes up, or these just not great feelings about ourselves come up, we push them away. But we don't actually deal with them. We don't hold them. And so they start then to stack up. So you start to have these, again, how many times have I gotten undressed in the mirror and I see myself in a sports bra and leggings, and it's like, oh, not there yet. But I'm like, nope, let's go jump in the shower. Push that low self-confidence over there. Push it. Let's go in the shower. Okay. That's not, we can't. If anybody's listening to this, I'm going to take a dramatic pause because I did not realize what this was doing to my mindset. Because it wasn't like I was just ignore. So I was like, nope, I'm not, nope, my positive affirmation, I'm going to have a JLo body. Ignore. And I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't seeing the weight come off. It was a struggle to be consistent. It was a loophole of just kind of like this circle of, okay, I feel bad about my body. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to like check out my body. Oh, I still feel bad. So I'm going to work out even more. Like it was a circle of where I kept working out, kept like trying to eat certain ways. And it might work for a little bit, but I still didn't feel like how I thought JLo would be feeling in her body. Right. Because when I asked myself, okay, what's important about being in a JLo body at 50, it's like, I want to be so dang confident in myself. That's what so many women that I talk to, when I ask them, why is it important for you to lose weight? They're like, I want to be happy. I want to be confident in myself, Katie. I just want to like look in the mirror and feel that who is looking back is like who I feel I am. But then when we have those moments when we look in the mirror and we don't feel like we like what we're looking back at, we just go, nope, not today. But this is the critical thing. And this is what keeps us stuck on that yo-yo train for so dang long, where it's taking so long to get our ambition and it doesn't feel like walking. It's because we're stacking the deck to believe that we can't do it. Because how many times have you and myself looked in the mirror and you just ignore those thoughts and emotions that shape your belief? So even if you ignore them, it's not that they're not there anymore. You're just not thinking about them. But they still left an imprint on your belief system. This right here is where I was like, no. And also I'm like, that's not true, but it might be. If you haven't achieved your result, maybe, right? And so that's because it's like, how many times did you, if thoughts and emotions tied to those thoughts create our belief system, regardless if we like don't, it doesn't matter how long we give attention to it. If we don't kind of change what those emotions are that are tied to those initial thoughts, if we don't kind of evolve from them and like mold them into something that does help support our belief system that we want to make rock solid, it doesn't matter if we just ignore them. They're imprinted in you. They're there. And so they're starting to like get block. Like we're stacking the deck, we're stacking the blocks into this belief of, well, okay, what's the belief? Like, I'm not worthy. Unworthiness, low self-confidence, low self-esteem. Again, and when I was trying to think about this specifically in terms of losing weight, I'm like, oh, that's why like people can physically, scientifically, you can lose weight. You can, like, without changing your mindset around this, right? You can cut calories and exercise a ton. But we've all heard stories too of how some woman is in what we picture is an ideal body and they still feel like they need to lose weight, or they still feel unworthy, or they still lack confidence. They might not say that. We've all heard that, right? We've heard about supermodels who like don't have confidence. They struggle with self-esteem, and we're like, you, like, screw you. What? This is where this is the mindset piece. This is the thing that's going to make it feel, it's not easy to do, but it's not complicated either. So it's like, we're just walking. And so again, another thing that I think will help kind of ingrain this is, because we've been pushing these things, this is all energy. The mindset of anything that we pushed away, those insecurities, is like, think right now then of sit in your body and just say, okay, how do I feel about my body? What's the energy? Is it like fireworks shooting off? Like, I love my body. I am amazing. This feels so good in my body. I love me. Like, that's the high energy. Or is it I feel pretty good. Could be better, but like, I feel pretty good. Or it's like, fine. Like, cool. It's like, it's give or take. It's whatever. It's been like this for 10 years. Or it's like, oh, I hate my body. I hate it. We're in another June and going into July and I don't want to be in a bikini. Like, oh gosh. I was like, I'm not even going to go there because it hurts too much. What's the energy? Or again, whatever your ambition is that you're like, oh yeah, no, I think I have like a really solid belief system. If we can check in with what we've been kind of putting into our mindset, putting into our body, putting into the energetics behind what we want by just checking in and just saying, okay, what's the energy behind it? Like sit here and just say, okay, the belief, just take a deep breath. Okay, what does it feel like right now about how do I feel currently about my body or about my financial situation or about the job or the relationship that I have? I know for me, this screwed me up and I was like, oh no, I have cracks in my belief system. Therefore, my word is not strong. Therefore, well, I'm never going to succeed. And that's why it felt so hard to lose the weight, to build the business, to have the relationships. Because I was like, oh, no. Here's the good thing, though. It doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't have to take a lot of effort at all. It could be like that to start to shift. It's not going to be perfect, but it could be like that. It could be like that. And all you have to do then is one, have the courage to sit and hold this feeling that you feel. Again, the thought, we have a million thoughts. So thoughts evoke emotions in us. Anything that feels uncomfortable, don't go, nope, and get in the shower. No more shower moments for us. We're strong women. Let's hold it. Let's hold it. We're not going to do anything with it. We're not going to judge ourselves for having this emotion. No, because we're not dictated by this emotion. We're not labeled by this emotion. It's just an emotion. We feel them every single day. We're not unworthy. We're not low confidence. We're not, no, not anymore, but we hold it because we're strong enough to hold it. And so we take that. Here is how you get, you say, okay, I don't want to hold these anymore, but I also don't want to feel them that much because they hurt. I know that they hurt. Hold it. Just do that. Hold it. Know that you're going to be okay no matter what. Know that you're going to be okay no matter what. If you just hold, okay, I'm feeling low confidence. Okay. And then choose a better thinking thought. All right. What does that mean? Just this is how you kind of climb out of this emotional, just kind of the creating the wrong type of belief system. You say, okay, my thought was, okay, I have fat rolls. Okay. And then the emotion tied to that is a disappointment in how far you've come. Like, you don't, okay, what's the better thinking thought? What's just a step above that feels truthful that you can be like, okay, I can get there. And so a lot of the times it's just like, it honestly could be like a reminder of, okay, I'm J-Lo in the making. Like it's like, okay, we're good. Like today I'm here where I'm at. I'm in the present moment. I am in the making versus being so disappointed about kind of how long it might be taking or just not feeling like you're far enough along. those things don't make us feel good. And I'll get to that at the second variable point of about time. But it's like, okay, when we're to build the strongest word that we possibly could have, we have to build up this belief system. And so right now, if there's cracks in your foundation of your belief, if you say, I will have a J-Lo rockin' body, but if there's cracks in that, if you don't truly inherently believe that, you're not gonna get it. You won't achieve it. It's going to be so, or you might make some progress, but it's going to be so dang hard along the way. We don't want that. We want this to be as easy as walking. And you're like, oh God, okay. So just say, okay, what is the better thought? What is the better feeling thought then that gets me just a little bit out of feeling unworthy or low confidence? And a lot of the time it's just, I can't tell you what it's going to be for you. But for me, it's a lot of it's just like, okay, I'm J-Lo in the making. I'm J-Lo in the making. We're good. I'm still at it. That means that I'm still continuing to grow and evolve and push myself. And that just means I'm still on the journey. Okay. Okay. And what's the emotion with that thought then of I'm J-Lo in the making? It's like, you got this. You feel better. And so that's a rock solid word, right? Because there is no time cap to I'm J-Lo in the making. But there is a time cap to like you will lose weight for this wedding on May 25th, which I've done in the past for one of my best friend's weddings. I was wearing a strapless dress and I was like, I don't want to feel self-conscious about my arms anymore. So I put a date in the calendar and I said, you will lose I think it was 15 pounds by this date. And so I was working. But because there was the context of my goal wasn't where I didn't have a lot of fluctuation of success or failure in there. I didn't have a lot of ability to have, it was so small. It was like a 4-month period. And we do this all the time with our goals. We say, nope, you get it or you don't in such a short amount of time. And then you feel like a failure or as far as you should be. So that's where it's like, we can create a context. We can create a really strong word by having the context be so big where it's like, I am J-Lo in the making versus I will be a size 4 come, just made that up. I've never been a size 4 come May 25th. The context the context is so pivotal because when you have a smaller, shorter amount, when there's a time buffer to it, there's so much room for failure. And that's when we're going to have the belief systems that are like, we're not far enough. We're not doing enough. There's disappointment. And then that's going to build up our low self-esteem. Then your belief system and the ability to do what you say that you want starts to crack and you have a weak word versus if the context is big, if it's over a lifetime, how much room do you have for success in that then? So then it's not, oh, okay, let's check in this week. Did I lose some pounds? And it's like, if you did, then you are awesome. If you didn't, you're a failure. You're like, oh. Or looking at before and after images and you're just like, or you're zooming in on your arms. You're like, did they get a little smaller? I think they got a little smaller. And then you check another picture. You're like, they didn't get smaller. These are all things that I've done. So if you're like, Katie, you're embarrassing. Well, I know I'm not the only one out there doing this. And so that beautifully kind of cycles into variable number 2 is how long we stick to what we say we are going to do. So how long? Is it until your friend's wedding on May 24th and your context is little context? Because you've only given yourself so much. You've pushed all the success and failure that you could ever have possible within this ambition. And you're it's everything, the energetics are so bouncing around in there and there's no room for failure. And it's just we're playing with energetics here, right? Remember? Versus if you give yourself the context that is a lifetime of where it's either, it has to be a no matter what, right? And this is where I want to like play, and this right here changed so much for me when focusing on goals, because I always thought you're like, oh, to have a really strong goal, you have to give yourself a time frame or else you'll never achieve it. But a lot of that times, it just like, at least for me, it set myself up to be disappointed in myself. And when I'm disappointed in myself, what's my belief system of me actually achieving my word? There's cracks in it. So my word is not very strong. And that's where I would get off the wagon, get on, get off, not follow through, say, oh, I can just start on Monday. When I realized that time doesn't matter, felt so dang free. I know we put so much pressure on time because we want it now, right? We're in a culture of gratification, right? Right. Instant gratification, where we're like, I want it now. I want it now. Okay, we can get it now. But here's the thing. These are our dreams and our ambitions. And it's like, when we have it, when we get it, however long it took or however short it took, it doesn't matter. We're not going to care, right? All we care is that we have it. How freeing is that? How freeing is that to know that time does not and should not matter? To be honest, when we put a time frame on our ambitions, where the context of what is possible for us is put into a smaller context, versus if it's no matter what, I'm getting it, we have exponential chances to achieve it. And when there are exponential chances to achieve the goals and ambitions that we want, it's impossible not to get it. And don't we want to get it? Don't we want to have it? Don't we want to experience this life in an energized and just to the greatest fulfillment as possible? Don't we want that? So why are we making it where it's like, nope, I can only have it in 6 months, or else after that, like, screw it. Why are we doing that to ourselves? When we have it, it doesn't matter if it took 6 months, 3 months, 8 months, like, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that we have it and that we're living the life and we've developed into the person that we wanted to become on the way through that, right? Time doesn't matter. Okay, so, and now I want to read to you just kind of something that I wrote about time. That really just kind of, I was like, okay, I get it now. So, are you playing to win, or are you playing not to lose? These games feel very similar, yet are played on very different fields with very different outcomes. So the outcome of playing not to lose, you lose. You're holding up a trophy of achieving not this, which in hindsight doesn't feel like a win, does it? Because the trophy is what you don't want. So what happens when you play to win? So you win. No matter what, there is no other option. When you're playing to win, the only outcome available to you is to win. So you win. You've won. You will hold the trophy of what you want. So how do you know which game you're playing? It's simple, really. You know you're playing to win because you feel good. That's it. And how do you know when you're playing to win? You feel so dang good always. And how do you know when you're playing not to lose? When time is a variable. So I feel like I'm not doing enough. It's not happening fast enough. I should be farther along. You're playing not to lose. So time is invisible when you're playing to win. Why? Because it doesn't matter how long or how quickly it takes. All that matters is that you win. That's it. Period. So time isn't felt, but time is extremely felt when you're playing not to lose. It's always there, always in the back of your mind, always making you feel like you're playing reactionary, always feeling like there is never enough time or things aren't happening fast enough. Because time is associated with lack and not having what we desire. So let's play to win. Let our strategy be to feel good no matter what. Game time is now. You ready? So let me explain that just a little bit. So again, what we're doing right now is when you are getting your desire, when you are setting yourself up for inevitable success, when you are playing to win, there are two variables that you have to focus on. So it's how strong is your word and how long will you stick with what you say you are going to do. That's it. That's the two-part series to it. And so how do you know which one you're at, right? In that post, I talked about two things, two kind of cues. You know you're playing to win when you feel good. And so that's why it's like we train our body. When I was asking you to do, okay, what's the better feeling thought? Okay, we're training ourselves to feel good when those things will come in, which will inevitably happen, right? We're gonna my mentor calls these prove it points, where we say we want something and then God, the universe, your highest, whatever you believe, will say, okay, awesome. You say you want to have a JLo body, or you're JLo's body in the making. Cool. We're going to make you feel really self-conscious. Let's see what you do. Prove it. How bad do you want it? Are you going to ignore it and just stay the same? Or are you going to prove that you are willing to fight for what you want no matter what? So those are prove it moments. And so when we have those prove it moments, all we have to do is just say, okay, cool. I hear you. I'm going to hold you. What's the better thinking thought? And keep asking yourself, what is the better thinking thought, until you feel good. And then, okay, how do we know when we're playing to lose? When we're focusing on what we don't want, the lack of it, how do we know? Time is a variable. This one's hard. This one, I'm still wrapping my head around this one. I'm still just kind of constantly negotiating with myself. If we're playing to win, that's it. We win no matter what. It's as easy as walking. Even though we're going to have those prove it moments, it will become easier and it will happen no matter what, because that's what we said it, because our word is so dang strong. If we're playing to lose, we feel time. We feel like we're not making it far enough. Far enough compared to what? As long as you have it, you have it. You're good. Doesn't matter. We know that we're going to get it. We're good. I know without a shadow of doubt, I'm going to get it. So it doesn't matter how quickly it comes to me. I just know that's going to come to me. Oh, but I'm not going fast enough. Oh, I feel like I should be along stronger. Oh, like what am I doing the right stuff? No, you're playing to lose then. You're making it harder on yourself, because when you're playing to win, you feel good always. You're going to have those prove it moments and you just say, okay, how do I feel better? What's the better feeling thought? Well, it's better feeling thought. And then that is when you say, okay, you get clarity and realization of, okay, this was what feels good. It's all about the energetics. Because again, I started this conversation talking about how are there people that like it's success for them, but it's such a struggle for other people. Are they doing anything differently? There's so many strategies out there, right? If you Google right now how to lose weight, a million things will pop up. How to make $1 million, a million things. How to have a tremendous relationship, a million things. Yet, some people get it and some people don't. It's not like the people that aren't getting it aren't like they don't know it, right? As long as they have access to Google, they have it, right? But there's something, and it's the energetics behind everything that we do. And this is what's been blowing my mind, of just how we can just make things so much easier and so much clearer and so much more powerful when we focus in on who are we being through the process, and not just keep pushing each strategy and this strategy and that strategy and be like, why am I such a failure, and having anxiety come up and having like disappointment come up and that fear of disappointing and the fear of not getting there fast enough. And like, If you've tried the same thing, or if you've tried to reach the goal 10 separate years in a row and you haven't seen the success, and the same things that are coming up, are just getting in your way, it's a prove it moment. Prove it. How strong is your word, and how willing are you to stick at it? Is time a factor? If time's a factor, then your context is itty little bitty. And it's not going to be a fun journey, because it's like you've condensed again all those successes and those opportunities for failures. It's like, versus if time isn't a factor, if you just know, it's like, doesn't matter if things don't work. You're like, okay, cool, on to the next thing. So that's what today's all about, is really figuring out how do we set ourselves up for inevitable success by really focusing in on the inner works, the feminine energetics, versus just like, let's stop doing and having the do be so dang hard, and let's start making it where it feels like we're just walking. So if you found any value from this episode, I would love it if you shared this with your friends, shared it on social media. You can connect with me at Katie Christ on all my social media platforms. Keep going all in, guys. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. My goal is to help as many women listening, and if this episode supported you in any way, the very best way to show your appreciation is by simply screenshotting this episode and sharing on your social media or with your friends. Or even better, drop a review on whatever platform you are listening on. Don't forget, if you are looking for any additional support, you can always reach me on Instagram at Katie Christ. See you back here next week.